could you give a quick introduction of yourself, such as your name, current position, and your place of affiliation?
Yeah, so I'm Greg Danielson. I'm a mechanical engineer here at Astra. I started just over a month and a half ago, but I come from traditional aerospace. Um, I went to U of I, graduated, got my bachelor's and my master's in mechanical engineering when I was there. And while I was on campus, I was a big part of the electric Formula SAE team.
So from that break, after your graduation date and you starting this job here, is there anything you did? Did you work in the industry as well?
Yeah, I worked on the defense side of the aerospace industry. So I worked for Northrop Grumman,
Okay.
and I worked on like a targeting and surveillance pod there. So so I guess to go back to the beginning, after or between my undergrad and my graduate degree, I interned at SpaceX. So I got to see the fast side of aerospace.
Mm.
I completed my master's, the last semester of my master's, um, and then I went to like legacy aerospace, I'll call that. So Northrop
Mhm.
Grumman, got to see how that side of aerospace was done, and then I really wanted to focus on the space side of aerospace,
Mhm.
and sought out a new opportunity and moved out to San Francisco. So
Okay, sweet. Interesting. And also a follow-up question from that. You did mention that you did study mechanical engineering in college, if I understood correctly.
mhm. Yep.
Um, what other extracurricular activities were you involved in college? If you can think of high school as well, please give an answer to that too.
Yeah, in high school I did science olympiad. I did some of the like project teams, like a maglev vehicle.
Mhm.
That was fun. That was you know, small scale compared to the opportunities that I got at U of I. Like basically the Formula Electric team. So I was the mechanical captain of that my senior year, and I learned probably as much from being the mechanical captain of Formula SAE uh, than I did, in my classes, right? So um, on that team, you machine parts, you design parts, you hold design reviews. So yeah, that was very valuable in my
Mhm.
career.
It does seem like you did a lot of things along the way. What would you say have helped you out the most? Like you did say there was an internship that you did, the organizations as well. What helped you out the most for the professional, for you to become a professional in the aerospace engineering field?
Like learning how to solve like hard problems is basically all I do every day, right?
Hmm.
So just being presented with challenging problems is what will prepare you best, right? So not necessarily taking the easy way out on certain things, um, solving things the hard way, and uh, to me, Formula SAE is the best experience that I got. Um, I mean, I was a mechanical engineer. I knew nothing about batteries and motors
Hmm.
and stuff like that. So being kind of thrown into this unfamiliar atmosphere, and on an unfamiliar topic, and learning all that I could there, um, that's probably what helped me the most.
If possible, could you go through some of the projects that you may have done, or just what you're doing at Astra currently?
Yeah. So my role now, I work on the upper stage of the rocket.
Okay.
So it's basically the part of the rocket that works once it's in space, right? So we
Yeah.
separate from the first stage, and then we work up in the vacuum of space. So what I've been doing since I started here, I've been doing a lot on kind of the payload adapter. So it's our customized plate that adapts the upper stage tanks
Hmm.
to the satellite that we're carrying, and we carry many different quantities and types of satellites and deployers, um, and weight is critical to us. So we have to customize that plate. We can't just have like a big slab that we throw different bolt holes on. Like we have to customize the plate to be the right stiffness, the right have the right like modal frequencies, and then also, support the deployers and the satellites where they need to be supported.
Hmm. What's the proudest project that you've worked on, not only here at Astra, but as an engineer yourself? Um,
To me, a lot of
Obviously,
my
working with the upper stage of the rocket, I'd be proud of that
yeah,
myself if I was working on that. But
yeah.
is there anything else that you would be willing to share?
Well, outside of the fact that we just made orbit, a couple weeks ago for
Wow.
the first time, that was pretty wild. I was on comms for that, so I was
Hmm.
I was the one who, I mean, I had backup from the rest of my team, but I was the one who said, orbit is go for launch and go for propellant load. So learning the whole system and being able to, be in that seat, that was pretty cool.
Hmm.
Outside of that, it's not aerospace specific, but it's it's basically the core of where, like, how I got to where I am today. When I was captain of the team, basically my team finished endurance, the endurance event of the Formula Electric competition. We were one of a handful of schools to even pass tech inspection, but then to complete endurance. Yeah, that made all the late nights at the shop worth it.
Hmm. That was all done here at University of Illinois, right?
That's correct. Yeah,
Wow, that's amazing. That's awesome.
yeah,
What
yeah.
would you say is the most rewarding part about your job?
Oh, being a mechanical engineer, you get to see your stuff made. You get to see your stuff tested. Some of the guys on my team, I think their answer, uh, their answer is like, we get to blow up tanks, right? Like
Yeah.
we proof load, or like we load the tanks to failure, and we figure out, what exactly is their max limit, and you learn from that. Like, they determined that the weld was probably twice as thick as it needed to be.
Hmm.
Um, so, uh, and especially at a company like Astra, where it's very fast paced, and we have our machine shop on site. I There was a day right before launch that I was working on an issue, um, that was going to block launch. So at 10 a.m. I submitted a job to the machine shop. That part was on my desk by noon. Then at 1 p.m. I submitted another job to the machine shop. That part was on my desk by 4 p.m. So, like, being able to design something in CAD, send it to the machine shop, and get it same day, or
Hmm.
even if it's not same day, just get it at all. It's
Yeah.
really cool to see kind of the fruits of your labor.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say, like, one of the reasons why Astra and a lot of other, startup or non-legacy aerospace is so quick is, at small companies like this, the whole company has one goal. Like, the whole company was working towards the launch of LV7
Hmm.
when we were working up to launch. So if you needed anything and you said this is for launch vehicle 7, they would drop what they were doing, and that was the priority. So that focused mindset really, really makes things move quickly.
Hearing your job currently at Astro, people might think it's like rocket science is super hard. How do you get into it?
Yeah, yeah. I thought the same thing for the longest time. Like, I never thought that I could be, a mechanical engineer at a space company.
Mhm.
I would say that it's remarkable how similar the day to day is at, you know like, one of my internships was at a company that makes, like, farm equipment, large combines. The day to day engineering for a lot of it is the same, right? Like, there's just as much analysis, or there's a lot of analysis that goes into making farm equipment, that goes into making cars.
Mhm.
That same analysis is used in space. So I would say it's like the only difference is the margins are thinner,
Mhm.
and a little more work is done on analysis, just to prove things out, because if a car fails, you bring it into, a mechanic. If the second stage of a rocket fails, it falls down to earth. You can't do anything about that.
Yeah.
So I would say, like, I myself had a misconception that, I thought that, you know like, rocket science was necessarily, like, kind of unattainable. Like, I did good in school, but I still never thought I could do it. But that's not the case at all. Like, I'm today I'm designing a sheet metal part here. Like that's the same type of a part that somebody would design at, even a company that makes, electrical connectors or little components like that. So I'd say like a large part of the day to day just is the same. No matter where you're a mechanical engineer, your day to day is going to be pretty similar.
Hmm. Tell us something about yourself that people might not expect from a mechanical engineer or an aerospace engineering, such as examples could be like an interesting hobby or a fact about yourself, a quirk you might have.
It's not necessarily uncommon, but I don't think many people would expect it. But there are a lot of mechanical engineers, myself included, who love rock climbing.
Hmm.
I'd say it's not uncommon, which is great because there's
Yeah.
a lot of people around me here that also rock climb, a lot of climbing partners. But yeah, no, I'd say like one of my bigger hobbies is rock climbing, and um, there's
Hmm.
it's not rare, but
Yeah.
it is interesting. It's fun to have multiple people around you that have the same interests.
Yeah,
So
definitely. And it just goes to show again that engineers just don't simply sit in front of computers all day long.
oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. What is your best advice that you can think of for a high school student thinking about going into the careers in aerospace engineering?
To me, like if you want a career in aerospace, or if you're between say like aerospace engineering and like a more like sales engineering, like there's many different fields of engineering. um, I would say focus on the more technical work, because it's like all the stuff that you learn in class that you like all the detailed equations and stuff like that, uh, learning and like truly understanding that will help you across the board, no matter
Mhm.
how technical your job is. Even if your job is not that technical, knowing that stuff will still come in handy. But not knowing that stuff is is a it can be a large, it can hold you back, right? So I would recommend, if you're between two fields, two majors, if you have two choices and one is harder and more technical than the other, do the hard thing, because then the easy thing will just be even easier, right?
Yeah.
um yeah, and like I think that especially comes in handy when like applying for majors in college.
Hmm.
um like I would say always apply to the harder major, um because it's much easier to get in through the regular application cycle than to like transfer into the harder major. And the same is true in the workplace, right? Like if my last job wasn't super technical, I wouldn't have been able to get a super technical role here, right?
Hmm.
So do the hard thing, do the technical stuff.
Hmm.
You can always go less technical from there, and you'll be a rung ahead. You'll know all the technical stuff, and you can pick up the non-technical stuff. So
Also for college students, would you say any extracurricular activities like any research internship have helped you out for this current job?
yeah, I would highly recommend doing some sort of student project team, whether it be
Mhm.
formula, gas, hybrid, or we don't have hybrid anymore, but gas, electric, hyperloop, solar car. Get your hands dirty as a mechanical engineer, as an aerospace engineer. I think like seeing, like you can get lost in a CAD model, you can get lost in your equations, but at the end of the day, something real is going to come from it, right? So even if you want to do the software side of aerospace engineering, join a student project team and do the software and see how your software impacts the real thing. I think like I would not be where I am today without my experience on Formula Electric and the time that
Mhm.
I spent, through student project teams and stuff like that. So find whatever you're interested in. It can be weird. It can be a small team. It can be whatever. Just get your hands dirty.
Mhm.
Design something and do something. And actually, uh, there are many jobs now that don't really focus on your GPA or your your like your GPA or your college degrees as much as they do your projects, right?
Mhm.
Most of the job applications that I've done, there's a cover letter, there's a resume, and then they want you to upload a portfolio. They want to see your personal projects. They want to
Mhm.
see what you designed, what you built. Um, and that can be anything. That can be stuff from student project teams. That can be, I have a 3D printer at home and I made this fun little thing. I designed it myself. They just want to see that you're motivated and capable of, of doing stuff on your own, right?
Mhm. Wow. Thank you.
No problem.
I think it'll help out a lot of us who are watching this video right now.
Yeah.
That's it for the questions that I have today. I just wanted to thank you again for willing to do this interview with us. And do you have any questions before we go?
No, that's all I got. I wish you guys the best of luck with this effort. I think it's great. I wish I would have had the opportunity to, get a little foray into aerospace engineering
Hmm.
when I was in high school. I didn't. I had opportunities, but I thought I was going to work on cars. And being able to see the more fields I can see, the better. Especially now, aerospace is booming. So
Yeah,
yeah.
definitely.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'd say the same. If I had this opportunity in high school, it would have been so much better, and for me to gain more interest as early as possible. So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
No problem. Have a great
Bye.
day.